Hi guys, I'm Mariana, and I'm here with.
Isaiah.
Rodrigo.
So we're gonna talk about what we talked about in our stories first a little bit, just to give you a background. So on mine, I talked about how when I was in fourth grade, I had like this big presentation for one of like my projects that I had, and everybody there like spoke perfect English. Like everybody was super good at it, and I had just learned English like my third grade year because I had came from Juarez. I lived there for like 8.5 years, and I don't know where my parents just brought me here, and then I was stuck with the teacher that only spoke English, so I kind of like had to learn to like communicate with her. But yeah, so my fourth grade year I was in this like project thing. It was like for like creative people. I don't think I'm very creative, but like so I was there, and we had to present to like these UTIP professors, physics professors. And the girl that was supposed to give like our whole speech type of thing forgot what she was supposed to say, and since we like rehearsed it like for a whole week, I kind of memorized it. So I just kind of said what I remembered. It was like super broken. I don't even think I pronounced like half of those words right, but I don't like it. Just gave me the confidence that even if like those professors heard me and they didn't like make fun of me, then I was gonna be fine. Like eventually I was gonna learn English, and I mean I'm here now. Can't stop talking now. So it was a confidence booster.
In my letter, I talk a lot about how when I came to the United States when I was a kid, I didn't know any English, and when I talk about when I started in pre-K, I found out that there were other kids like me who didn't speak English, so it was very comforting to know that there were a lot of people that were struggling, because that was my fear. So I grew up with most of them, and we grew up together learning. I still sometimes keep in touch with the same people I went to pre-K with, and I mean basically it was just like a major confidence boost when I really started to grasp the language, because everything improved from my grades and like my like personal relationships with like making friends and communicating to my teachers. Like I talk about how when I was in the third grade, I won like the spelling bee when I was from my elementary school.
That's cool.
And I mean, I was going against people whose first language was English, So yeah, when I started to learn English, that's where like I realized that like every single assignment and reading and everything made a lot of sense now, as opposed to when I didn't know how to read any English. So everything improved. So yeah, I mean, I basically just talk about my journey with learning English and how it's helped me, and that's the reason I'm here now.
Alright, so on my letter, I was talking about when I moved to El Paso, because I used to live in Juarez too. I moved, I think my first year, it was here in school, it was 7th grade.
Oh, shit.
It's, so it was like really hard for me because I was really close with my parents. So I moved here to El Paso, and I came to live with my grandparents. And I was not even, I don't talk to my parents that much, to my grandparents not that much. And so it was I went through a really hard time. It was a really hard time because at that time I was like really shy. I was a really shy kid. And I didn't know any English, so I was like really lost for like the first 2 to 3 weeks. I went through a really hard time. After that, I started like getting to understand how things work. What else?
What was the event that you had put in your letter where it was like you knew that language was kind of
I
played
feel
an
like
impact?
the event.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that I moved to El Paso. I mean,
Like the schooling was like
mhm,
like the main thing.
mhm. The school, not really the language because I kind of understand it. So it's really about that.
So it was more like leaving your parents, like
Mhm.
that connection that you had with them. It was like,
really.
I mean, on
hard for
top
me.
of like the language thing where like it just changed your whole life, it was like you weren't close to the people you were with.
Mhm.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, it was hard. I mean, it was like a way different environment than used to be in Juarez.
Yeah.
Cause like I had all my friends in Juarez. I used to go out with them every day, and to be every day like doing nothing on here, I don't know anybody.
I mean,
It
it's
was
not
a
like you
big
can
change.
chill with your grandparents either. You know, after
Yeah.
a while, you're like,
Yeah.
okay, like we're watching the same shows.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I get you. I feel like that's, I don't know, like whenever you're in that position, you just feel so alone. But there are so many people that are going through like the same thing. Like I've met so many people that are like, oh yeah, like I came from Juarez too, and like I didn't know anything, like no English. I didn't have friends, this and this. And I'm like, where were you? Where were you in those years where I didn't have friends either? No, but yeah, I didn't even think about that stuff, like the connection, because like when I used to live in Juarez, with like literally all my mom's side of the family, which I'm close to, lives over there, and we would have like brunch and stuff. Well, it's not like called brunch, but like after church, we would go to my grandma's house. We would eat, which is something that I feel like a lot of, you know, like all of us do.
Yeah.
And well, since nobody could come over here, it was a lot harder for us to like get together as a family, and I just like lost touch with like a bunch of my cousins and stuff, and I'm not so close with them now, which kind of sucks because like family is like a big part of like you.
Yeah. You. And did you move with your parents or like?
Yeah, so literally out of nowhere one summer, my mom was like, I don't want to live here anymore, like we gotta go, because like there was like a lot of stuff happening like in our neighborhood and stuff. So literally we packed up from one weekend to another, and then we just moved. So to me, like I didn't even get to say bye to like my friends or like yeah, it was like the craziest thing. Like I don't know, like, you know, whenever like something happens so fast that you don't even remember it.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that. And then I moved here my second grade. Well, I did second grade over there because like my birthday or whatever. I had to do second grade again here. So I was doing second grade, and when I tell you I did not learn one thing of English, I didn't learn anything. And it was like, it sucked because like in third grade you have to do like the STAR test.
Oh yeah.
And oh my god, I literally was so scared because I was like, I'm not gonna pass it. Like I'm gonna have to do third grade again. I'm gonna be so behind. So it was kind of like that whole like first year of like school here, I don't really count it because I don't even remember it. So like third grade, I was like in a bilingual class. You know how like those ESL classes they have, those are, well, I had one of those, and then my teacher retired, and I got this white lady, like straight up like, well, that's like kind of mean, but she was like from like northern like United States, white, like she didn't know not one word of English. I mean Spanish, and I don't know one word of English. It was like
that class bilingual.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So like everybody was like, "Girl, what? Like we're stuck with this like white teacher now." So yeah, like to like have to communicate with her, where like I had to learn English, and like she would just talk to me in English, and like since you're little, like your brain like absorbs a lot more things. So it was easier for me to like connect with like she was saying to what she was doing. But yeah, like I mean, I learned a lot, but it was not like perfect English where I could hold a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. About that, you did second grade again, right? So right now, how old are you?
I'm 20. I just turned 20 like a week ago, week and a half ago.
And you're a freshman?
I took a year off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when you graduated, how old were you?
I graduated 2021. So I was 18, and then like 2 months after I graduated, I turned 19.
Oh,
And then you took a gap year.
Because that's
Yeah, I
something that
took a gap
happened to me. Like, I came from Juarez, and I don't know, like, I was supposed to repeat a year.
When's your
but
birthday?
I didn't. December 10th.
Okay,
but
yeah.
I didn't, and I'm 17 right now in college.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
You
so
don't,
that's weird.
You don't like 17 though. Nah.
No,
I'm like, I know a lot of
don't.
17-year-olds.
No,
you know?
I don't like 17, but
That's crazy.
weird.
No, yeah. So basically, if your birthday's after September the 1st, you're like held back. So like, kids who are born before September, like let's say, fuck, I don't know how to explain it. Like, 2022, any kid born from 2021 after September the 1st, all the way to kids born 2022 September the 1st, they'll go first, and then you'll go.
They stay, go.
Yeah, but sometimes like depending on your grades or like the transcripts that you carry and stuff, like that's why they probably like las materias que hayas hecho, they're probably like transferred over here, because mine, I was in second grade, so like it was like whatever type of thing.
Yeah, I have a cousin who I remember I was in high school, and he's like 4 or 5 years older than me, and he was gonna transfer from Juarez to here, and he was told that he was gonna have to be in the same grade as me.
I'm 5 years old.
So
Oh
I
my
remember I
God.
was like a sophomore, and he was like, I don't know, like 18 or like 19,
Yeah.
something like that, and he should have been like graduating, because some of the credits from Juarez didn't transfer. So I mean, he ended up not doing it, and he chose to stay in
In Juarez?
Juarez.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
why.
I would
Yeah,
too.
would've stayed,
If I was,
Yeah,
if I had to
no, that
repeat like
was- yeah.
4 years of school again, I wouldn't
Hell
not
yeah.
do that. No, but yeah. I don't know. I think it's crazy how like you since kindergarten it had like affected you. I mean, it affected
Yeah.
you in a good way because then you ended up making friends.
Yeah, no,
And I was
I mean, it was. I remember it was very scary for me because when I like I heard the like United States, it's like I like I remember like being like everybody speaks English, nobody speaks
Spanish.
I didn't know that there were actually people who spoke Spanish. So
Oh yeah, me too.
I was very
Oh,
scared.
Yeah.
okay, I get you.
I remember crying and crying
Aw.
and because I was telling my mom that I couldn't like I was not gonna be able to like understand.
Uh-huh.
But then like the first day of school, I remember teachers were speaking to me in Spanish, and then like other like
Friends,
people that I met, and like I said, like it was very good for me that I started in pre-K
Mm-hmm.
because I ended up learning like very fast and very quickly because I grew up with like an environment with everybody that was learning. Like we were all learning together, right? And like it got like I got like really good so fast that like I remember like I was given achievements like reading at like the 6th grade level when I was like in 4th grade. You know?
Oh, I hate it. I hated
so-
English.
So it was like that was like a big thing for me like currently because you know it was like another language. So and like I now feel more connected to the people.
Yeah, the same thing
Yeah.
happened to me. Like when I came here, I like my perspective was like everyone's gonna speak English, everyone's gonna
Yeah.
speak English, but it was like all my friends were speak Spanish. Sometimes the teachers,
Mm-hmm.
and then the middle school that I went to, it was Horizon, so all
Oh,
Mexican. So
yeah.
it was like all Mexican, and that kind of affected me because like I understand English like the first 3 months. I already understand it, but like to speak it, that affected me.
Yeah.
I couldn't talk English at all, and then I was shy with the English. I'm still shy a little bit, but not as much as before.
Mm-hmm.
And then until high school, when I got to high school, which was from East Lake, it was like more white people.
Yeah.
And then I joined the football team, so like everybody speak English. So I was forced to speak English, and then I got better at it. And
I
Okay,
think that's
now.
like a big thing because like when I was like in middle school, like people that were like new, like 7th graders that were just coming in, they'd be like, oh, well, you like hang out with them because like you speak Spanish because not everybody
Mhm.
did. And they were like, it's because I understand. I just don't know how to speak
Speak
it. And
it,
I'm
yeah.
like, that's like, I think like a big thing. Like I'm not saying it's easy to understand English, but it's a lot easier because like some words like you kind of like make out, like, you know, like
Yeah.
it just makes
Mhm.
sense.
yeah.
But to like speak it, like
Speak it is
you
different.
like I don't know, like it's just so confusing because sometimes I'll say stuff now and they're like, no, that's not how you say it, and I'm like, then like it makes sense in my head because I guess like you translate like what you want to say from Spanish to English and you're like, okay, well, like it makes sense,
Mhm.
but then like you say it and it's like, no, like that does not make sense.
Yeah, I
It's
get
like
it.
yeah, I don't know, it's like a hard language to like communicate through.
Mhm.
But yeah,
We're done.
yeah.
We're done.